Family means everything. They're the reason that we do what we do. To make sure that they're taken care of now and in the future is the driving force behind it all. I'm Justin McDonald, co-owner and COO of Blue Line Pressure Washing.
This is Eddie Chrisman, co-owner and CEO of Blue Line Pressure Washing.
Welcome to another edition of The Wash. We've got a special one for you today. For the first and limited time, we're pulling back the veil on Blue Line Pressure Washing and introducing you to our Blue Line family, our actual families. Stay tuned for some stories, some laughs, and more likely some organized chaos. We'll have another Blue Line product spotlight for you. We're going to let the ladies get into that mailbag, answer some questions. Stay put, hang on. A family episode, a Christmas episode is coming right back to you. Welcome back, everybody, to The Wash. Merry Christmas to everyone. Since we won't see you again until after Christmas, after the New Year, Happy New Year, Merry Christmas from our family to yours. Eddie, you ready for this episode? It's hard to tell what's going to come up.
No, I don't think this is a good idea at all.
I do believe this was my idea, so we'll see how this fares out. For you guys tuning into us on YouTube, tuning into us here on your favorite podcast source, we want to welcome you. It's the first time we're doing a simulcast live stream of the podcast.
Yeah, this isn't going to end well.
So we'll see how it goes. We're going to have fun with it and whatever happens. I got a funny story for you. Well, not really funny, kind of cool. I don't think it's it's not something that you and I would be interested in, but it's kind of cool. So apparently here, not too long ago, there's a group of 13 strangers, and this is something that's went viral.
Okay.
I don't have TikTok or nothing like that. I don't, but it went viral all over social media. So apparently 13 people were at the Orlando airport in Orlando, Florida, right? So they had their flight canceled, right? 13 of them. They all went in and split 13 different ways and rented a 12-passenger van. 13 complete strangers rented a van, and they drove 10 and a half hours from Orlando to Knoxville, Tennessee, together with 11 other people that they didn't know.
Yeah, I don't think I'd be doing that.
I don't.
I'm not exactly what you would call a people person.
Yeah, I don't know if I could be stuck 10 and a half hours. I don't want to be stuck 10 and a half hours with people I like.
No.
I don't want to be stuck in a van with him driving.
That's not nice.
But apparently this happened on December 4th when there was I guess weather or something down in Orlando. And they canceled the flights and they got a van and drove completely to Knoxville in 48 hours.
Isn't that something that happened off a movie? Wasn't that Home Alone? Didn't Kevin's mom hitch a ride with some...
Yeah, so what's been going on your end? Everybody's healthy?
Finally, thanks to Justin jinxing everyone and causing us, we got the flu, and then Tori got RSV, and she still sounds like she's dying, but she's not. She's better.
She's better today.
Yeah, she sounds terrible.
She sounds awful.
Kara's still being a little turkey. So actually my in-laws are here right now, and the only reason Kara has not climbed up on my lap realizing that I'm recording every video, because everybody knows if Kara's in the room and you watch any of our YouTube, we'll start the video where she wants nothing to do with it, and as soon as I start talking on video, she comes running over and jumps in my lap. But because she's hanging out with Omaha eating Pringles and watching her iPad, Lord knows what she's watching on that thing, she is for the first time not crawled in my lap while we're recording.
That's pretty funny. Yeah, for everybody listening out there and for you guys watching on YouTube, those voices you hear in the background, we're gonna introduce you to them here in a second. But
again, this is Justin's idea, not mine.
So
we're about to get run over by a bus.
You guys sit back, have fun. Anyways, for all you guys out there in YouTube land that are gonna be watching on this, and then everybody listening in podcast land, we've got our wives with us today.
They're gonna see
So, and my child, and eventually Eddie's youngest is going to probably make an appearance here at some point. I want to introduce you to my wife, Emmy. She's a full-time school teacher, and she's going to be our comedic relief for the day. She doesn't make much sense, but we're all going to get a good laugh.
Why you got to go poking the bear when we ain't even started yet?
Why do I gotta be a bear?
She's Eddie's comedic relief in the afternoons when he's in the shop. She comes home from school and unloads her problems, and then I get to hear about them later.
So for YouTube, I guess they can see her. This is Justin's daughter, Riley. Justin, you can
Camera's
introduce her
right
because all she ever does to me is throw me under a bus.
Yeah, Riley's my 15-year-old. She's my oldest, my only. And she's the shop rat. So if anything bad happens in the shop, you can almost guarantee that Riley's will be at the center of ratting one of us out.
Mm-hmm.
Mostly Eddie.
Funny. But you want to introduce your wife?
Yeah, so those of you that never see her because all you ever do is talk to her on the phone, this is Jen. This is the one that you normally speak to when you call us. And also the one that likes to tell me what I'm going to do, when I'm going to do it, and how I'm going to do it. So
Yeah, I'm the schedule keeper.
we're the owner, she's the boss.
Yep, pretty much.
So Jen, we had a conversation here a little bit ago, and the comment was made
Oh, now
that
you're going to throw me under the bus.
the comment was made that all of the business ideas that Eddie has ventured into has been your idea.
Yes, that is correct.
Elaborate on that a little bit.
So, when we were back to when we were doing landscaping and lawn care, I saw a couple people advertising for pressure washing, and I was like, at the end of the season, I was like, hey, maybe we should offer pressure washing as another service. And that's when he, unknowingly, I guess I put the seed in his head, he dug into it and decided to do all the research and then decided to open the pressure washing business. Forgetting that I was the one that said, hey, let's start this pressure washing business. And then we were on vacation in Florida one time, and I had been watching a bunch of YouTube videos on people selling equipment, and I was like, hey, we should come up with a product that we can sell to make another stream of income. Again, forgetting that I had said that, we came back from vacation, and then he talked to Justin and made, I guess we started with wands. Was that right, honey?
Wands and manifolds.
Yeah, and then forgetting again that it was my idea to start selling equipment. And then I came to him with the idea to possibly franchise the business. Didn't have numbers, but then Justin came to him.
No, that was Mason.
Oh, sorry. Another friend of
Get
ours.
it right. If you're going to throw me under the bus.
I'm
get it
sorry.
right.
Another friend of ours, Mason, came to us and said, hey, here's a bunch of numbers and, information. You guys should franchise for another stream of income. Again, forgetting that it was my idea first.
Now, disclaimer, we are not franchised yet. Do not
No,
call me
we
and
are
ask
not.
me to join
We are
franchise.
not
That is a
franchised yet.
Long process. that
But
I'm
we
working
are
on right
working on it. However, it was my idea, as well as the pressure washing business alone and the equipment sales. Just wanted to make that known. It was my idea.
now. So, but to Jen's point, yes, her and Tori went with me
One
to
job.
do a house wash one time.
One time.
And I started washing this vinyl privacy fence, and they're like, hey, that looks fun. I think we could do this. So they decided they wanted to do it. So yes, I did allow them to do it.
And we washed the rest of the fence by
And
ourselves.
they did wash the rest of the fence by themselves, and I stood on the side watching them wash this fence, wanting to take a hot poker to my
How
eye
long did it take?
because it was taking forever. But they did get it done. It did look good, but they were taking forever. So yes, they could
Hey,
go
that
out and
lady
do the
loves
work,
me.
but by God, we'd be there about twice the time we normally do.
Yeah, well, I took Riley out on that one
Could
that
still
one
do
big
it.
brick house that we had, and she actually did really good. She pulled.
Oh, you
it.
mean the one where you brought it back to me with a broken wand?
Well, I mean that's neither here nor there. But the fact is, she did good. She
No
went-
one
she
said
went
that
out,
was Riley's fault.
She pulled hose good. She
Get down there, yeah.
she helped me
Yeah.
move stuff on and off
We
the
went
patio.
out.
And, hey Jen, so I'm gonna bring this up to you since you do the majority of Blue Line Pressure Washing's scheduling and customer service and all that different stuff. What is some viewpoints that you have as far as what you do within the company?
Well, I just want to note that I have been told I'm excellent customer service
I
by
knew it was coming. I
numerous
knew it was coming.
reviews. I like to make that point a lot. I like to rub it in their face. But as far as the customer and scheduling, and they've said it before on here because I've listened to the podcast a couple times, but it doesn't cost anything to be a decent person. Just be nice. I deal with you guys all day long, and I love you guys, and I try to remember who everybody is, but at the end of the day, if we have an issue, we have kids, we're a family, it doesn't cost anything to be a nice person. If I call with a scheduling conflict, it's just because I've made a mistake, it happens. But, at the end of the day, I mean, I love you guys. I love talking to you guys. I love talking to you on the phone. I get to hear your stories. And I just absolutely love how much you guys rave about our company and what we do and how happy you guys are. I just absolutely love it. But again, at the end of the day, it costs nothing to be a decent person. If you call me with a problem, don't yell at me. I'm a human being. We have all made mistakes. But you know what? Just you live and learn, and you just take it day by day. And I can't wait for next wash season. I'm so excited for my phone to start ringing again.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're gearing up for some other stuff and adding to our business, but I wanna reverse that question on you. What is well, and mainly because this podcast is mainly drawn to other pressure washers. What is your advice to them when they're dealing with customers on the phone?
Be nice. I act like the nicest person on the phone,
And she does mean act.
Shut up. You know, and as Eddie said it before, answer the phones, return the phone calls. I had perfect example. I was trying to get some concrete work done in my backyard. I just still haven't got it done. That's a different story. It took me months to get people to call me back. I called somebody in June and they didn't call me back until January.
It's so frustrating.
And that was the most frustrating thing. So if you're going to start a pressure washing business and you don't have somebody like me to answer your phones, put a voicemail up saying, hey, I can't get to you right now, but I promise you I will return your call as soon as possible. Answer your Facebook messages. It doesn't have to be necessarily in a timely fashion, but just answer the messages. Call people back. Talk to people. These people they want somebody to call them back, because otherwise then they just get annoyed and then they just think the whole industry's like that.
Well, from an ownership point of view, you've got somebody who is reaching out to contact you that says, hey, my checkbook is open. I'm willing to pay you for a service that I need something done. At a bare minimum, as a company, you should be at least seeing what that customer is willing to offer.
Just at least, even if you can't do what they're asking, or even if you don't have the schedule for it, or whatever it could be, even if you can't do it, just call them back. Talk to them. Maybe you have a contact that could help them. I have a painting company that I work with that will eventually come paint my house when I can get them in here. But I refer them all the time. I have a client saying, hey, I need this, and this painted. I don't do that, but here's this people. And I transferred them over to those people. And I say, hey, just tell them that I sent you, and then, we work out a trade deal like that. So, it's always great to have those contacts in your back pocket that you can transfer people over to, that kind of stuff. You just want to make sure that you have, that, I guess, what do they call it, a Rolodex of contacts?
Yeah.
That you can.
That's an old school term.
That's an old school term. But you want to make sure you have those contacts built up. You networking. You want to make sure you know other people in the area that you can talk to. Yeah. Just call people back. Even if you're just sitting in the truck for 10 minutes before you get out and do another wash, answer your phone calls, answer your text messages, answer your Facebook, your email, all that kind of stuff. Because people recognize that, people see that, word of mouth is one of the biggest ways.
There's Cara.
Cara.
There we go.
There's one of the biggest advertisers, especially in a small town that we own, that we're in. It's word of mouth is one of our biggest advertisers that we can possibly do. I mean, that's how most people find out about us. I ask, and they're like, how'd you see us? Oh yes, so and so, you did their house and it looks wonderful. They gave us your card, and I'm like, great. Let's get you on the schedule.
Word of mouth advertising is one of the oldest forms of advertising.
And it's cheapest and one of the best, because especially if you get into a neighborhood like we did, all of the housing developments, they're like, oh yeah, you just did my neighbor and this neighbor and this neighbor, and I'm like, oh yeah, that address, we've been there a handful of times. And I recognize the street name, and I could just be like, oh yeah, we've done 10 houses on that street, and it's wonderful.
I mean, I know I don't have as much, in to helping besides the garage door and helping you lift skids. I mean, being a 6th grade science teacher takes up a lot more time.
It helps when you're just a stay-at-home mom with a tiny human that you can just, you can get to the phone whenever you need to.
But I almost feel like it's common sense as well. I mean, I know I've worked retail for years, whether it be the cell phone stand and selling jewelry and everything, but when you have your own business, you are a representative of yourself. You represent yourself. So what you put out there is going to be a reflection of your character as well. So if you want to be a successful business, then you want to make every effort. Be that business that owns up, because the customers will remember that if you made a mistake, you did own up to it. You did, reconcile with that and fix it, and also go above and beyond to make that less of a burden on them. Things are going to happen, but I just feel like having professionalism and really having the best customer service possible is what's going to make your and obviously Blue Line's having it because of Jen. I mean, she's the brains behind it all.
And Eddie and I have had these discussions. Having good customer service takes
Outstanding customer service.
It takes no resources from the business. It takes very minimal training. There's no cost output from the company, and there's very minimal qualifications to just have good customer service. And I don't mean good customer service as in just answering the phone, but listening to people, understanding people's problems, and knowing what services you can provide. It's
with any business where you're going to go out and you're going to talk to, that you're going to have to converse with a client. It goes beyond that. Treat others how you want to be treated. If you want your business to flourish, you want that income to come in, then you need to put out just as much as so that your business can bring that in. You might as well not even start a business at all if you don't know how to talk to people, listen to them. These people are going to end up being, hopefully, your returning clients. So after a while, you want them to build a relationship. It's kind of like, it's like with teaching. These kids aren't just my students. They become my kids for a year. And my number one priority is not only building a relationship with them, but the parents. And I'm more productive with these kids when I have a good relationship with the parents, and they have word of mouth as well.
That's kind of what Wayne was alluding to with us last week. Was it's amazing how from season to season you do a really good job with one client, and then the next year you get called by one or two people that they have talked to, and they're like, well, you did a job for so and so, and you're like, oh, I remember doing that house. Mm-hmm. Then the next season, all of a sudden, it's 3 or 4 people off of that initial one person because you did a good job. And hey, everybody, welcome back. Jen paid some bills. We're back here. Now it's time for that Blue Line Pressure Washing product spotlight. Eddie, so from what I understand, you want to kind of revisit the product spotlight from last episode. We were talking about King's Reels and Sprayer Depot.
So Sprayer Depot makes King's Reels, aluminum hose reels, and I actually was asked on Reddit about being able to get a hose reel with either a 3/4 inch or a 1 inch manifold, the internals of the hose reel for guys who are running gas soft wash systems. They're a difficult thing to find, anything over 1/2 inch that's aluminum and stainless steel. So I reached out to my contact at Sprayer Depot and asked him about it, and they are actually in the process of building that exact thing. They're gonna be putting out a King's Reel aluminum hose reel with stainless steel internals that's gonna have a 1 inch manifold, so you won't lose all that flow from like your gas roof pumps, like the AR45's 11 gallons a minute, and you're going from a 1 inch to 3/4 inch outlet, depending on what you plumb it up to. Your hose to the suction hose should be about 1.5 inches for that particular pump, and you're going from those large hoses through a large manifold, 3/4, 1 inch outlet manifold, into a 1/2 inch manifold hose reel. So you lose a lot of flow, a lot of pressure, and get a lot of back pressure that way. So that is one of the drawbacks of the gas systems and one of the problems that people have run into. So Sprayer Depot is actually, they've been contacted quite a bit about this, so they've decided they're going to solve the problem. And I can tell you, from what they told me, they should have them out sometime around January. They should be available for
That's
purchase.
going to be awesome.
Yeah, it'll make it a lot more efficient when you're running those gas pumps.
I know the couple gas mechs that we have built have been a pain when it came to that area, because it's like, do you use an adapter? Do you know, it's hard to find the fittings, the couplings to go from one side to the other.
Yeah, and you can still run, most guys run a 5/8 hose for the soft wash hose, and that's fine, but the going from 3/4 to, or 1 inch or 3/4 inch, depending on how you set it up, to 1/2 inch, and then back up to 5/8, you lose a lot doing that. So by doing this, you're going to have the 1 inch manifold going down to a 5/8. You will still have some drag, but nowhere near the performance issues that you have from using a 1/2 inch manifold.
You don't want those back pressure performance issues on an expensive
No.
setup like the gas soft wash system.
No, that can become very expensive. You can blow some O-rings. And for those of you that are listening that are newer, when I'm saying manifold, I'm not talking about your mixing manifold, your soft wash manifold. I'm talking about the internals of the hose reel, is what they call the manifold, where the hose hooks to the swivel. The super swivel is going to be 1 inch. The manifold in the hose reel is going to be 1 inch.
Okay, so it's not actually the connection coming off of the manifold or off of the pump.
I'm glad you clarified that, because I had no idea what you were talking about.
Okay, well, there's your clarification.
That's the reason. Well, ladies, do you have any other parting wisdom before we close down today? You guys paying any attention?
I didn't even hear what you said.
Not really, other than Merry Christmas to everybody and a Happy New Year, and be safe. Don't do anything we wouldn't do, which I shouldn't say that. Don't do anything stupid. Be safe.
I give wisdom every day, and she just took the words out of my mouth, so I just joined what she said. Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year.
Yeah.
Stay safe.
From our family of yours, we want to wish everyone Merry Christmas, Happy Holiday, and stay tuned. Check us out on YouTube. We'll see you again next year. See you, everybody.